LMSUK here with an incredible singer-songwriter, Sue Harding. Sue, you've come down to Portsmouth with us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here.
It's been incredible watching you back there, seeing you on the big screens, kind of playing your songs. It's incredible. My first question is, when you're performing live, what are you seeing? What are you thinking about? Is it colours? Is it shapes? Is it muscle memory? Like, what's going on?
When I'm performing live, it depends where I am. As we, some of it is about interacting with your audience, but if you're in a room like this, where it's not, there's people behind. It's a studio, it's people behind cameras and it's dark. I'm in my own little mind. I was drifting away.
Seeing different bits.
Yeah.
Now, I want the people at home to understand some of your love of music and like who influences you and people that inspire you. So my question to you is, if you could kind of be a fly on the wall in a recording studio for one album being made, what's the one album that you would love to have been there for?
There's several, obviously. I'm very much a throwback. I love the music of the 60s and 70s in terms of, I'm a Leonard Cohen fan. It's the literary, poetic aspect that really does it for me. So my favourite albums, I suppose, are fairly classic these, would be Joni Mitchell's Blue. I mean, everyone loves that. Songs of Leonard Cohen, just, I needed to be there. And
Incredible, isn't it?
I know. And possibly, I like Dylan as well, but the one that the album I heard when I was about 16 or something, was Desire, which has got this kind of lyricism to it. I cover a few of those songs as well. Amazing.
It's really interesting to hear that kind of...
It's so old-fashioned.
No, but that influence of those classics, like you said, and it stands the test of time because they're loved today and adored today, and I think that's amazing to kind of be a part of. As an artist, and as a singer-songwriter, do you ever have a creative block? And if you do, how do you overcome that?
Yes and no. Because I'm older and I've been doing this a very long time. I have. And I now see that kind of creativity of any kind as being, it sometimes goes in a wave. I mean, they say it's mostly perspiration rather than inspiration, and that's not really true, I don't think. Can't force it. But I don't panic when I don't produce anything much. I've always got some kind of, the big ideas come and go, and times when I feel really fertile. So I'm listening to somebody else or going to a gig will get me going again. But I've always got something that needs reworking or a bit of sort of grunt work, where you do the wordsmithing and you fiddle with the chords and you do a bit this, that kind of stuff, which takes time and is a different bit of your brain, I think.
Have you ever had a song that you've kind of written, left for a while and come back to it years later and it's kind of come together? Is that something that happens frequently?
Quite a lot. Oh, really? Yeah. I have notebooks. I have piles and piles of garbage in notebooks after notebooks, and I write stuff down. I write it doesn't work, put it away. And I came back and dug out, for the last album, there was a song on there that I'd written a very long time ago. Obviously, different tuning, different treatment, but I pulled it out and did it in my most recent kind of style of doing things. And that was... on Darkling, I did Fallen is that one. That was a very old song.
Fantastic. Well, I want to know a little bit about if someone hasn't seen you live before and they wanted to come to a show, what would they expect, Sue?
It depends what kind of show I'm doing. I think my favourite kind of show is often shared with other singer-songwriters, and I quite like sharing with somebody who's got a slightly different style from me, so you don't sit and listen to me for 2 45-minute sets. I think that's a big ask, although it can be done. You'll hear music that is mainly me and a guitar, but I have, and I would probably have a lot of different tempos and slightly different sounds, maybe a little bit Americana in there, a little bit Irish, Celtic influences, some English folk, and then just the weird stuff that I do when I'm left to my own devices, which doesn't fit anywhere.
So yeah, what I really want to know is obviously those live performances. Today, watching you behind on the screens, it was really captivating. I definitely heard a little bit of folk influence there.
That's where
the
I started.
2 songs you've performed today, talk to me about the reasons behind those songs, how they've come about, the songwriting process. I want to understand as a non-musician how we've come to see it today.
You're too modest. Those 2, I sang Capitano. That one's got a really good story behind it because I have a very loved friend called Gabriel Moreno, who's another singer-songwriter, and I heard his stuff for the first time. I went, aha, a brother in song. Yeah, it was aha. And then I met him later, and he's been playing gigs with me on and off. In fact, we did one. I went down to London where he's running a poetry night at in King's Cross and Jamboree. And, you know, he involves a lot of people. He does a lot of spoken word as well as music. And we've always having a moan about how bloody hard it is. I mean, it's not really hard, but, you know, keeping going, keeping your boat afloat, keeping that mojo flying, because it's very easy to become discouraged. It's a bit brutal out there. And being heard and having an audience turn up to see you, you know. And he was having a dark moment. So I wrote that one with talking about those influences. He calls Leonard Cohen the General. So if you ever mention he does a lot of covers of Leonard, so he's got the General. So I called it Capitano because he's Gibraltar in Spanish. So that's how that song came about. But it's sort of saying to all of my co-creators, you know, keep your lights on, keep going, don't give up.
That was such a great meaning to put out a song. Have you ever had some amazing advice from a mentor or another musician that's been like, in those troublesome moments, they've gone to you, Sue, and they've given you a great bit of advice or some great mentorship?
It's usually just don't stop, just keep doing it. And I do think somebody did once mention to me, when you're a little bit stuck, try different tuning.
Yeah. Okay.
Do something weird with your guitar.
Oh, really? So completely just put it somewhere else and see what comes of it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's always good.
They do say that some guitars have secret songs written in them, don't they?
They got the song, you just got to get it out.
I love that. My last question for you, Sue, that I really want to know is, if you were going to put on your dream festival, you can choose 3 headliners. Who would you choose?
Oh, Dream Festival.
Dream Festival. I need a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday night headliner.
Oh my God, that's impossible to answer. Do they have to be alive?
No.
I want Cohen.
Cohen, yeah.
I want the General.
Friday night? Are we going Friday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Joni Mitchell. Shall we have Dylan?
I would love that.
Why don't we just do that? You asked me. That would do great. And then all my friends and relatives coming along playing the singer-songwriters.
Amazing. Well, Sue.
Hefty with poetry and...
A true creative festival, shall we say?
A true creative yeah, I think there's a big crossover with poetry and music, and
massively.
That's what I'm really engaged with at the moment.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming today. We really appreciate it and coming to perform for us. And we're going to take a look at the music now.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
Nice to meet you all.